today on an all-new Dr. Phil. Why this teen's teacher...
Her mom said, I hate Adriana.
...became her guardian.
Adriana told me that she was going to kill herself.
You said, fine, I'll get a beer and just watch you.
It's not like this is said to her on a day-to-day basis. One time, this guy comes out of my mom's bedroom.
Is this the one you sent Adriana off with?
She asked to go with him.
She was how old?
I was in 7th grade.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Well, we don't pay them enough, but we trust teachers every day with the lives of our children, and boy, oh boy, do they come through. A teacher in Illinois is credited with saving the lives of her students from an active shooter. They now refer to her as Chuck Norris. Just a few months ago, a teacher in Ohio saved her student from choking by doing the Heimlich maneuver the minute she recognized him in distress. And a teacher in New Jersey saved the life of one of her students who was having a seizure just by the touch of a button on an app. Now, these teachers say they're not heroes, just humans doing the right thing. Well, today there's another teacher who didn't hesitate to step in when one of her students was in dire need of help. Whitney immediately came to the rescue and took in 17-year-old Adriana after she claimed abuse and neglect in her home and had nowhere else to turn. Take a look.
Adriana was a former student of mine. She told me that she was going to be homeschooled online. I thought she's a very motivated individual. She'll be just fine.
My mom told me I needed to be pulled out of school to help my 2 younger sisters with disabilities. I liked the idea because I could help my siblings, but I wanted to finish school so I could go off to college.
Adriana reached out to me on social media about a month ago. Her original message was, I need your help, I can't take it anymore. And I said, can't take what? And she said, home and my mom. After her first message, I just said, honey, I wish I could go and steal you and bring you home. That next day, Adriana was talking to her sister. She just wished that she could move in with me, and her mom happened to overhear it. Shortly after that, I got a call from her mom saying, so I hear you want to take guardianship of Adriana. Jennifer said she couldn't take it anymore with Adriana, and she was up for adoption. She said, we just can't live together. She's ruining my life.
When Whitney came over to our house, we had a meeting around the dinner table talking about how we could fix this situation.
And Mom just said, you know how Dr. Phil says sometimes parents can hate their own kids? And she said, I hate Adriana.
I was kind of shocked. So then, I'm sorry. It just caught me off guard because she has said it to me before, but I didn't really know how to take it.
I remember stepping out and calling my husband and telling him what I had just heard. I brought her home that day.
Well, I've listened to that tape several times to be sure I heard that right. Jennifer actually thinks I said it's okay to hate your kids. I've never said that before, and I'm going to talk to Jennifer about that and much more. But first, here's how Adriana describes her home life. You won't believe this.
My mom is very neglectful to her kids.
Here's the living room, just an empty house.
My mom refused to get a job and pay for things, so we've been kicked out of multiple homes. We've lived in our van before.
Here is our lovely kitchen. No lights. And my room. Not much to show.
My mom can't get on her feet because she's lazy and doesn't have the ambition to get up every day and go to a well-paying job. My mom was verbally abusive to me. She would tell me all the time that she hated me. She would tell me that I'm a mistake, that her life would be so much better if I wasn't around. Last Christmas, my mom told me if I killed myself, she'd drink a beer while watching me, and it'd be the best Christmas present that she ever got. There was a situation when my mom slapped me across the face. I broke out into a big, fighting match. She grabbed me by my hair and kind of, swiveled it up around her hand. So, she dragged me to the floor. And now I have a soft spot on my head. Another time, my mom pushed me up against the wall. When my mom pinned me up to the wall, she would punch at me, and I put my hands up protecting my face so I wouldn't get hit. Eventually, I got away. I got a call from the cops. They arrested me saying that I was being charged as a runaway. I just want my family to be back together and for a place to feel safe and secure and have fun like a family is supposed to.
Well, Adriana, it's good to meet you. I'm sorry for the circumstance. I wish we were talking about almost anything else. Whitney, I'm very proud to meet you.
Thank you.
This is painful for you to talk about.
Very.
Tell me what you're thinking right now.
It's really hard, like, to have to come here and to, like, try to get the help I need instead of being able to, like, figure it out easier.
Well, what does help look like for you? What would be an outcome that you would want? I mean, do you believe that your mother has the capacity to be maternal with you, or do you think this is damage control for your siblings? Where are you in this?
Sometimes I feel like there could be, like, and we could get help, you know, like we can try to get things to come back together and be a family. And sometimes it's hard because my mom, like, I've given her multiple chances to fix things, and I've tried going to counseling and stuff and like it just never changes. So at this point, I don't really know.
And Whitney, Adriana reached out to you February 4th. What was it that told you this was not your garden variety student complaining about a parent?
Her. She is mature beyond her years. She was a fabulous student, and her and I were able to build a really strong relationship, and I knew that without a doubt she wouldn't make this up.
At first, you were going to be homeschooled, right?
Right.
But that never happened.
No.
There was no homeschooling.
Mm-mm.
So you lost a year.
Yeah.
And when this started, you had a 4.0. Mm-hmm. So mom comes, you guys meet because you're going to step in as guardians. She says she heard that you would take her in some way, so she comes and meets with you, right?
Yeah, she actually called my workplace and left a message for me, and I called her back because they told me it was a personal call, so I called her back when I had a break, and she basically said, I overheard Adriana talking with her older sister, and I hear you want to take guardianship. And I was a little bit caught off guard, but I said, I will do whatever I need to do to help the situation.
Right. And what did she say?
She said, I can't take it anymore. I can't stand her. I take out all my anger on her. There are times that I hate her. She told me many different things that no child should ever hear from a parent.
And so she just told you she's up for adoption?
She said she's up for adoption. Either you come get her or you need to help me find a place for her.
What do you say to yourself about that when you hear that?
For her to say that about me, it really hurts because I do so much for her, and it feels like she doesn't appreciate anything I do. When we were sitting at the table and she told me that she hated me and she didn't want anything to do with me, I didn't know what to say. I worked so hard to make our relationship better, and it just feels like she doesn't want to try.
Well, coming up, we're going to meet Adriana's mother, who says Adriana is the problem. She says that her daughter is a know-it-all and thinks she rules the world. Bravo.
Adriana and I do not get along at all. She's the only one I've ever had a fist fight with.
You told me to start being a mom. I started being a mom. And when I started being a mom to you, you started your attitudes.
I did tell Adriana that I wish she had died.
Tomorrow, they've been in love.
I truly love her in every sense.
Since they were 7.
I never thought I'd be with Michael in this way.
But here's the thing.
Angie and Michael are first cousins.
And they just got married.
They've announced it on Facebook, half naked, tongues down each other's throat.
I'm sorry that this offends you so much.
It's disgusting.
Kathy might be jealous because she likes Michael.
No.
That's tomorrow. Then on Friday.
I believed my friend was dying.
I lied about having cancer.
How dare you?
I didn't want to hurt her.
You either wanted to hurt her or just didn't care if you did.
That's Friday.
The day after Adriana reached out to me, I contacted social services with everything that she had reported. It was not a week later that I got a letter in the mail stating that we have no reason to believe that these children are in danger and will not take further action. I've also encouraged Adriana to reach out.
When I called CPS, I told them my mother was not taken care of, my sisters the way that they needed. CPS filed the report, but we haven't heard anything back. And the state has done absolutely nothing to help.
We have reached out to other law enforcement personnel. It just seems that we're getting nowhere.
Well, 17-year-old Adriana was so distraught at home that she reached out to her teacher, Whitney, for help. Adriana claims that her mother, Jennifer, was physically and verbally abusive, so Whitney, her teacher, stepped in. After confronting Jennifer, she offered to sign over guardianship of her own daughter. Here are her reasons why.
I asked Adriana to be at home so that I could monitor her education. It was beneficial that she was there because my youngest daughter was diagnosed with Bell's palsy, and we also found a brain tumor. So I asked Adriana if she would be willing to homeschool and help out with the girls. Adriana was enrolled in online schooling, but she just chose not to do the work. She got a job at a daycare instead. During that time, I was asking her to go back to school. It was a fight to get her to even listen to me, so I just kind of let her do her own thing. I wanted Adriana to be homeschooled, and if she says otherwise, it's a lie.
It was obvious that my mom lied.
I didn't lie. It just didn't pan out. It was a lot more money than I had expected. It was about a month ago that we had discussed Adriana living with her teacher. I love Whitney. She's great. We just clicked. But after 3 weeks, Adriana decided she was going to come home. If it was my choice, I would have her go stay with Whitney, because right now I live in a pretty empty apartment.
Here's the living room. It's empty. No beds, no dressers.
My lights recently got shut off and I don't have any furniture. So we're currently staying down the hall with my oldest daughter. We have 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. Another problem, Adriana and I do not get along at all. We have a volatile relationship.
You told me to start being a mom. I started being a mom. And when I started being a mom to you, you started your attitudes.
She makes my blood curl. A few months back, I called the cops 4 times because of the fights that we got into. She's the only one I've ever had a fist fight with. The cops arrested her and took her to the safe shelter. Adriana told me that she was going to kill herself, and I told her that I would go get a beer and watch. She should have known that I was just saying all this stuff out of anger because she knows that I don't drink beer. I did tell Adriana that I wish she had died. She tells me I'm a worthless piece of I have told Adriana that I hate her. I probably said it more than once.
Okay, I'll let you have the floor first. If there's anything that's been said so far that you wanted to respond to.
Yeah, Whitney, I never asked you to help find a place. It was you or she stayed home with me.
I remember when I was on the phone with you the first time that you just said, I've had it, and she's up for adoption. And if it's not you, you need to help me find a place for her to go.
No, I did not say that.
How would you grade your paper as a mother?
I have 3 other children, and I don't think I'm a bad mom.
If I just look at the things that you say, the things that you would acknowledge that you said, when she said that she was being overwhelmed and having suicidal thoughts, you said, fine, I'll get a beer and just watch you.
Yeah, because she was saying them for attention. She has to be the center of attention. And if she's not, she does something to make herself the center of attention.
You've said, I've told her to kill herself. I said, I really, truly hate her. When Adriana and I fight, it's beyond verbal, it turns physical. Because of all of this crap with Adriana, I am now diagnosed clinically depressed and on 5 different medications. She told me she was going to kill herself. I told her I'd get a beer and watch. I hope we can learn to at least not hate each other. She makes my blood curdle just to hear her voice sometimes. Best place for her to live is with her teacher. I've told her, kill yourself. Now, I've been doing this 45 years, and I don't believe I have ever seen a compilation of statements acknowledge that a mother has said to a child and then sit here and say, I believe I'm a good mother.
I have 3 other children that turned out just fine.
I'm sorry?
I have 3 other children that turned out just fine.
You have 3 other children that have turned out just fine as opposed to this one?
Yep.
Who has not turned out just fine?
She's the only one I fight with.
You have 2 other younger daughters.
Yep.
When you say to her, I want you to just kill yourself, what's your intended impact?
I say it when I'm so angry, like, I don't really have one.
Well, Whitney says last summer, Adriana and her family lived off and on in a van. Jennifer says they've been homeless too many times to count. She'll soon be homeless once again. We'll talk about that next.
It has been hard to hold a steady job since my 3rd child was born. My 2 youngest kids have disabilities, and my 2nd to youngest child rides the special ed bus. It's very important that I'm there for her bus. I am a licensed nurse's assistant. I went to go get certified, but I missed the window to obtain my certification. I had to stop working at the nursing home. Currently, I'm in the process of working towards my certification so I can go back to work.
Well, Jennifer signed over guardianship of her 17-year-old daughter, Adriana, to her teacher, Whitney. She says that she just didn't get along with Adriana, and by sending her away, they would get space that they all need. You've told her to just kill herself, and when she did, you'd just get a beer and watch her die. You've told her you hate her. She makes your blood curdle. Just, if you would, could you just make a list for me of her positive characteristics?
She's very bright and articulate.
Okay, so she's bright, okay. What else?
She's a social butterfly. She's very outgoing.
Okay, so she's social. Uh-huh.
She's just all around a happy person. Like,
pardon me?
She's just all around a happy person.
She's happy?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, oh, yeah. I don't have any more.
She's bright, social, and happy. I've just met her and can make a longer list than that. I think she's very compassionate. I think she's very caring. I think she's very committed. I think she's very reliable. I mean, I could just go on and on. I think she's very mature. I think I think she's very forgiving. I think she has a very optimistic spirit. I think she's very insightful and deep emotionally. I could just go, we don't have enough time.
Dr. Phil, her integrity and drive are amazing.
Yeah. Integrity, drive. I mean, I've just known her like 30 minutes and can list 20 things. You've known her 17 years, and you say she's bright, social, and Happy? You don't much care for her, do you?
We just are not, we don't get along.
Tell me how the emotion of hate comes into your consciousness with regard to your daughter. How do you hate your child?
Well,
hate is a big word.
It is.
The synonyms for hate would be to despise, detest, unpleasant, and unacceptable.
When she started going to middle school, 6th grade, that's when her bad behavior started. And she started hanging out with people that did drugs. And when she stopped listening to me, and she started bringing it into my house with the other kids, I just started hating her.
Dr. Phil.
Started hating her. And you understood, you quoted me as saying that it's okay to hate your children?
No, you said there's a syndrome where you can dislike your child for... I don't remember everything you said.
Well, you didn't say
yes.
I said it was okay. You said that it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
I got to take a break, and I'll let you speak first when we come back. Adriana says that her mother has put her and her sisters in dangerous situations with strange men coming in and out of the house. We're going to talk about that next, and I'm going to add someone else to this conversation when we come back.
I thought Adriana and my friend got along really well. He was coming to California, and Adriana said she wanted to go.
I was excited because I thought it was a plane ride, and then we ended up driving. I would try to sleep as far on the corner of the bed as I could. My mom doesn't work, so when I work, I have to give her money so we can make the deadlines when things are due. If I wouldn't give my mom money, she'd manipulate me. She'd tell me that she'd make me quit my job because I'm underage. Some of the bills I've helped my mom pay for have been gas, electricity, food, cable. There's been times where we've had to come up with $300 to $400. I feel really mad about the situation. I should be able to have a lot of things by now, but it all just gets thrown away because I have to do mom duties.
Adriana says her mother has also put her and her sisters in dangerous situations. Take a look.
When I was in 7th grade, my mom sent me to California with a man that I barely know, but she claims was her friend.
I thought Adriana and my friend got along really well. He was coming to California, and Adriana said she wanted to go.
I was excited because I thought it was a plane ride, and then we ended up driving. The sleeping situation was very uncomfortable, and I would try to sleep as far on the corner of the bed as I could.
I didn't know that she felt like she was in a dangerous situation until several years later.
There have been times men have come out of my mom's bedroom, and one time a guy offered to help me cook breakfast for my sisters. All of these men were strange people. I kind of get uncomfortable feeling like, why are they here? I just don't feel like it's safe for them to be around me and my family.
You wanted to say something right before the break.
Yeah, when she was referring to me hanging out with people with drugs, actually there's been times where I told my mom, I opened up to her and told her that they do this, and I was in 6th grade. I mean, I went to a school where drugs were a big thing. I wasn't going and doing drugs with them. They were just my friends, and my mom would say, have them come over, let's puff it up together. And I'm like, how can you tell me not to hang out with someone like that when you're telling me things like that? That's encouraging me. It's okay.
So you weren't really against it?
I'm not against smoking weed, but I never said that.
You said that you think that she's actually put you in some dangerous situations before, and even now, there are men coming in and out of the apartment?
They haven't been in the apartment, but my mom has left, and there was one time where my mom was going to take a shower, and she just came out and disappeared, and we didn't know where she was. Later on, she admitted that she was going to hang out with a man.
No, I had your laundry basket. You want to try again?
And she Like when she says she has my laundry basket, she makes excuses that she's gonna go over to this guy's house and do laundry, which, I mean, yeah, the laundry comes back clean. But then, like, when she's on the phone with the guy, my sisters will be right there, and they'll start having, like, sexual comments towards each other. And then my mom will be like, stop talking like that. My kids are here. And then she'll claim that she doesn't have that kind of relationship with him. One time I was cooking breakfast for my sisters, and this guy comes out of my mom's bedroom, and I was like, who are you? Like, I didn't even know who the guy was. Like, there's been numerous times where there's been guys coming from, off the internet, coming into our homes, and that's really not safe because, I mean, I don't know the guy, so I'm like, I'm not gonna allow this guy to be around my sisters. And then my mom's like, oh, I've known them for years. Okay, but like years over like media or actually in person?
That's happened, right?
With the guy that she went on the truck with, but I was talking to him probably a good 7 months, 8 months, and then I finally let him come meet the girls.
Does that seem like a good idea?
No.
I mean, is this the one that you sent Adriana off with?
I did not, yeah. And Adriana came to me and she asked to go with him.
I didn't know. I was getting out of school, actually. They asked me, do I want to go to California? And at first, I thought it was just going to be for fun, like we were going to go on a plane or something. Like, I mean, I didn't think anything of it. So I was like, oh, yeah, let's go. And then when we got back, it was like, oh, we're going to go on a truck. And, like, I had no idea that it was, like, we were going to ride in a truck until, like, the time. And I was like...
Well, she was how old? 13?
No, she wasn't that
I was in
young.
7th grade.
So if you have non-biological married parents, there's 9 times sex abuse risk. If you have biological parents, but they're unmarried, it's 5 times. If you have a single parent that's cohabiting with a man, 20 times normal risk. If you're just a single parent, it's 5 times the normal risk. So if you're a single parent and you've got like a live-in boyfriend, the likelihood of your child getting sexually abused is 20 times normal. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be that guy, but that guy might have friends that come in or that come by or whatever. The risk just goes through the roof. Are you concerned, as am I, for the other children in the home?
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with the other children.
The issue is you.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. They're married and in love, but...
they are first cousins.
It's disgusting! Tongues down each other's throat.
Kathy might be jealous.
No!
That's tomorrow.
Okay, let me first introduce Dr. Charles Sophie. He's board certified in adult psychiatry, child and adolescent psychiatry, and family practice. So, Dr. Sophie, thank you for being here. Dr. Sophie is also the medical director for the Department of Child and Family Services here in Los Angeles, which is the largest agency of its kind in the country. He's also a member of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board. Dr. Sophie, what's your read on this situation?
Are you jealous of her?
No.
I think you are.
No.
Are you competing with her?
No.
I think you are. But you got to be real with yourself. Until you're real, this isn't going to fix. There's something about her that stirs up in you, and you become crazed. You want her dead?
No.
Then don't wish her. It's abuse.
Are you concerned, as am I, for the other children in the home?
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with the other children. Really, there's
wrong
not.
with this child.
Like,
It's the issue is you.
no.
Honestly.
What would you put on your to-do list if you were going to say, you know what, I'm really going to put myself on project status? What would be on your to-do list?
My first thing is to get this straightened out.
Okay. What else would you list?
I mean, honestly, I've got the job when I get home.
How many jobs have you had in the last 2 years?
Only 2.
Okay. And how long were you on each of those jobs?
Arby's I was with for a couple months, and the nursing home I was with for about a week, and then I had to go do my CNA training, and now I'm going back.
So out of the last 24 months, you've worked 9 weeks?
Roughly.
So 22 months, no job, 2 months, job.
Oh.
And if the best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior, then you're likely to work 2 months in the next 2 years.
No, I mean, I know how to keep a job. It's just, I have to be there for the bus to get my youngest daughter off because she rides the special ed bus. If I'm not there, she goes to a safe house. So where am I going to work from 11 to 2? And I'm not going to go flipping burgers.
Okay, so, well, but that's my point. It's difficult to work and take care of the children. Yeah. So you're kind of between a rock and a hard spot. How are you doing mentally and emotionally?
I'm fine. I have a counselor and a doctor.
Okay, coming up, Whitney says the best thing for Jennifer's daughters is to be in a safe place away from their mother while she gets help. I'm going to discuss this with her, with Adriana, Whitney, and I'm going to ask Dr. Sophie to weigh in here as well, because I don't think this is a matter of willpower or want to. I think this is a matter of dealing with reality, and reality is not always necessarily hearts and flowers. We'll be right back.
It seems as though Jennifer has a split personality. I never know what Jennifer I'm going to get. I never know if she's going to call me and say how much she misses Adriana, or that she's sick of her and doesn't want to hear what she has to say.
One minute she'll tell me to stay home, the next minute she'll be kicking me out of the house. And one minute she's happy, and the other minute she can be sad. All the extreme flip-flopping seems like a mental illness to me.
Okay, Whitney opened the doors to her home to her former student, 17-year-old Adriana, after hearing her claims of her mother's verbal and physical abuse. Jennifer admits she has a volatile relationship with her daughter. Dr. Sophie suggests that it might be jealousy, there could be competitiveness there, that in some way there's this competition, at least from mom's side, and that it gets in the way of any type of cooperativeness where everybody's pulling in the same direction. Basically, Jennifer, I think you're more overwhelmed than you like to admit, because I'm just going to tell you straight up, I do not think you're a bad person, by the way, and I mean that in all sincerity. I don't think you're a bad person, but I think you're overwhelmed. You know, we all have a breaking point. We all have a point where we just get frustrated, and I think you've said some things out of frustration that you didn't mean. I don't think you hate your daughter. I don't think you want your daughter dead. I think you've just said some things out of frustration, but I'm going to tell you, it takes 1,000 attagirls to erase one go kill yourself. It takes an awful lot of pat on the backs, and I'm going to tell you, people can't give you what they don't have, and I just don't think, I think your mother is an empty vessel. I think she can't give what she doesn't have, and I think she's emotionally empty. I think she's emotionally bankrupt, and so she can't give you what she doesn't have. And you don't know me, and I don't expect it to matter 2 cents what I say, but I just need to say I'm damn proud of you, and proud of what you've done. And I know Dr. Sophie is, and I talked to Robin last night, and she was just shaking her head at how proud she was of you, and I think everybody here is proud of you and what you've done. So, just know that you've made some right choices and done some good things in a very selfless sort of way. Does that mean you're a perfect teenager? No. I'm sure you'd be irritating as fingernails on a chalkboard. I get that. I know she's still a teenager. I get that. So don't walk out of here thinking like she came across like a little angel and can be irritating as hell. I get she's 17. I've raised 2 boys, Robin and I. We raised them up through those teenage years. And they start out cute as a button, and then they turn into teenagers, and I get that. And so you were very gracious to take her in. Adriana says she doesn't want her upbringing to hold her back in life. Mom says she wants to have a to-do list to work things to a better place than they are now. I'm going to say what I think needs to happen here to move this whole thing forward when we come back, and I'm going to be very specific. Well, I'm back with Whitney, a teacher that has gone above and beyond the call of duty, and I'm here with Jennifer's daughter, Adriana, and Jennifer. Dr. Sophie is with us. The first thing I want to do is get you some help, and I want to get you the help first off in this form. There is a company called Doctor on Demand, and it's a great company. I know that because my son started it. It is a company where you download an app to your phone, and the app is free, and then instead of waiting 21 days, getting in your car, going and sitting in a room full of sick people, waiting to see a doctor, you can be in front of a board-certified physician in an average of about 3.5 minutes. They can deal with 80+% of your needs, and they also do psychological services as well. You can do it right there from your home. I'm going to arrange immediately for you to have full access to both medical and psychological services through Doctor on Demand. And I think, Dr. Sophie, we can rely on that person to speak with the children as well as with her, yes, and determine what's going on here. And if a home study needs to be done, yes, then we can do that. Yeah. And we're going to get you guys the help that you need here. Okay? All right. Now, if you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, the way you do it is you go to Google Play Store or the iTunes App Store, and you can download the Doctor on Demand app. I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Dr. Charles Sophie for being here today. And for more information on today's show, you can log on to drphil.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, Fill in the Blanks. Also have a new podcast series, Analysis of Murder by Dr. Phil. Both of them are free. You can find them on Apple Podcast app. Thanks for watching, and we'll keep you abreast of what happens with this family. Thanks so much.
Out there, I was totally attacked on their part. Like, I didn't even get to describe how Adriana is at home. Like, she came off as a saint, and that's what happens at home.
How about what the things Whitney said?
She's especially a liar. When she said that I was giving my child up for adoption, I could have got out of my chair and hit her. Really, it took all I had. I've never said that. The doctor said that the first step to getting help is you have to admit it. I don't think they're going to admit anything. I don't think getting help is going to even be an option. When this all started, I wanted a better relationship. I don't know anymore. I don't know if I want that relationship. I'm not commenting anymore.